Hello, Aries. Welcome to your Tarotscope for the coming lunar month beginning on April 11th. We're going to be looking at these three areas of your life. So what do you need to know about career and money? What do you need to know about romance? And then we'll get a spiritual message for you as well. If you want to use the timestamps below to navigate through the video to particular areas that you're more interested in, you can do that. Also in the description box, there's more information on the moon cycle, the moon phases throughout this lunar month, and those astrological placements in tropical and sidereal. If you want to get, for you astrology geeks out there, if you just want to see how the moon is going to be interacting with your personal natal chart this month. And let me put a little bit more incense. I have redecorated my reading table for spring. So I hope you enjoy that. But with all that said, Aries, let's go ahead and get into career and money. Let's just get some overall energy. We'll look at your career first and then your money specifically. So what does Aries need to know about their career for the upcoming month? Okay, we get the Five of Swords. So I feel like, this might be a month where you feel a little bit competitive, or there could be the danger of getting into a competition mindset where you feel like you have to prove your worth compared to other people, or you could just be comparing yourself or comparing your success to that of other people. And we had the Ace of Wands wanting to come out reversed. So I feel like what your guides are saying is that you could, if you let yourself get too much into this mentality of being in competition with other people, it could actually inhibit your own potential. It's like it takes away your own vitality and energy. And, it's like when you're running a race, they say not to look at what other people are doing, to focus on what you're doing. It'll actually get you further behind if you're putting too much energy on focusing on the other runners around you. So to use that just as a metaphor, it's like you need to focus on you. You need to focus on what you're doing in your career this month rather than on what other people are doing. Yeah, and I feel like when you do that, and just gently, if you notice this, just bring your awareness to it. If you notice, okay, I've been kind of having thoughts of comparing myself to other people, I'm not going to do that anymore. Or now that I notice it, I'm going to bring myself back to my own path. And this is going to, I feel like it's going to bring you so much of a renewed vitality and also just greater clarity on what you yourself are here to do in your career life. Let's see if there's any other advice for you for career. And then, like I said, we'll look at money after that. Okay, we have birth. And again, that wanted to be reversed. So it kind of reminds me of the Ace of Wands, which also wanted to come out reversed. New life, such as a baby, an idea, happy news, or an exciting project, blossoms within and around you. So there's something that actually wants to emerge from you this month, but it's being held back. The more that you focus on a competition mindset rather than, just focusing on yourself, that it's holding back this birth process. Let me get one more card here. What do they need to know? What is this that wants to be born this month? Give us some more advice on this Ace of Wands birth energy. Something is wanting to burst forth from you. What is it? Wonder. It's a wonderful thing to be in a state of wonder. And when I'm a good audience to my life becomes better and better theater. When something delightful happens, I can shout encore and be tickled when it happens again. When something maddening happens, I can laugh it off. Either way, I'm glad I got a ticket to the show. I kind of feel like you could even be inspired by something that you see someone else doing. So when you notice yourself being in a competition mindset with what someone else is doing in their career, instead be someone who has a ticket to an excellent show and be like, wow, I'm kind of amazed with what this person is accomplishing. Let me be inspired. If you allow yourself to be inspired rather than getting into competition mode, that's what's going to help you give birth to whatever it is, this sort of creative impulse that's coming from you in terms of your career this month. Yeah, positive thinking. In the garden of my mind, I water the good thoughts and weed out the bad ones. You don't have to judge the bad thoughts. You don't have to judge yourself for being a normal human being who has competitive thoughts, because that's what we do as humans. We do that, right? I throw in forgiveness and empathy seeds by the handful if I want, and I take a lawnmower to that jealousy and resentment patch. I'm a pretty badass mind gardener. So it's just about really being mindful, really paying attention to your thoughts this month when it comes to that, seeing yourself as in competition with other people, and bringing it back to focusing on what am I here to do, and how can I actually be inspired by the wonderful things that I do see other people doing, rather than feeling like we're in competition, because everyone can succeed, right? We can all be succeeding. And how are you yourself currently very much succeeding? Focus on how you are succeeding and be inspired about what some new idea or project wants to come out of you this month. Allow that to happen. I'm just going to clear these cards away, and then we're going to look at money specifically. Okay, let's see what's going on with Aries regarding their money. We'll go ahead and I'm going to use some Clary Sage spray just to clear the energy. We'll put a little bit more incense on our incense burner there. What does Aries need to know about money this month? Okay, we get the star reversed. So I feel like, this is very positive. It wanted to come up reversed. Look at this beautiful pearl. That's a gigantic pearl. Pearls are representative of wealth, right? Pearls are expensive. I think that I kind of feel like your guides want you to see the wealth within yourself. I know that's a little bit spiritual mumbo jumbo, and you probably want to know about like actual money in the bank. But I feel like, what's going to increase your material wealth is you seeing the wealth within yourself. It kind of goes back to what we were seeing in terms of the career part of it. Allowing yourself to, having your own self-worth be diminished, maybe in comparison yourself to someone else. It's like if this pearl were to compare itself to this lighthouse, maybe this lighthouse is putting out more light. Maybe more people are noticing this lighthouse. But anyone who comes across this beautiful pearl is truly, obviously going to see its worth. So maybe you feel that you're not shining this month in some way, and it's making you feel that because people aren't seeing you, or from your perspective, they're not seeing you, it makes you feel that your worth is not as much as what you would want it to be compared to other people. But to be honest, I think most people would find the pearl to be a much more precious item than a lighthouse. Yeah, again, I think even with your money, your guides just want you to have a mindset of clarity here. Okay, give us something more specific about actual money. What do we need to know? We get 10 of Wands. I feel like in order to make your money really work for you this month, you need to choose your battles wisely. Choose where you really need to to spend your energy, because I feel like this might be a month where you just don't have like a ton of energy, maybe compared to other months. And you might feel like there's a lot to do. So instead of carrying the weight of all of those different projects, you might need to really refine it this month. And you might think, well, the more I do, the more money I'll make. I think your guides are actually saying streamlining things and just focusing on a few things that you can handle really well is going to actually bring you more money and more abundance than if you overextend yourself. Because again, you have to value yourself too. And if you're just carrying this huge weight of burden on your back with the goal of getting more money, you obviously aren't valuing yourself very much. We also have a snail here. So to me, that sort of indicates this might be a month where you kind of need to take it slow and step by step, not necessarily expecting some huge gains in money, but recognizing that the work you put in this month will pay off over the long term. Any final thoughts regarding money? The Seven of Swords and the Empress. I kind of feel like you don't even recognize how much abundance you have. It's really a mindset issue. I think this will be a month where you become more aware of, you know what, I actually have a lot. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. It's like you're starting to see you are showered with like a cornucopia of abundance. You already have it. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress. Wealth can mean a lot of different things. It can mean money. These are both cards that have to do with money, but it can also be family, friends, emotional support, opportunities for growth. I think that your guides really want you to look beyond your current perspective regarding money and really see the true wealth that you have and start to experience it. It's not that there's a lack of wealth. It's you're not experiencing what is actually there to the fullest extent. So really enjoy what you have materially. Enjoy what you have. I think that's the message. And if that's a shift that you've already taken recently, your guides are just congratulating you on taking that shift. All right, so that's all we've got for career and money. Let's go ahead and move on into the romance portion of the reading. All right, so this month I'm going to separate it up into, first I'm going to look at a current connection that you have in mind. It could be a relationship or just someone you have feelings with. That will kind of like look at what the energy is this month and what your guides need you to know about that connection. And then after that, for any of you who are just wanting to know, is new love coming in this month? Am I going to meet someone new? Is there going to be something new happening in my love life? Then we'll look at that next. But first, let's look at an existing connection. So while I'm shuffling, go ahead and think of that particular person that you have in mind, that person you care about. And we'll see, what do we need to know about the current energy between Aries and the person that they have in mind right now? What do they need to know about this connection? Okay. Okay, we have your energy represented by the Nine of Swords. The energy between the two of you is the Devil reversed, and then we have their energy represented by the Six of Wands reversed. So I kind of feel like this person may not be seeing this connection as successful right now, or they might be having trouble seeing how it could work out, or how it could, basically how they're not seeing the future here very positively. I do feel like overall this person's mood and mindset is more optimistic just in general in their life than yours is, because with the Nine of Swords, it feels like you're experiencing a lot of anxiety. And then we have the Devil reversed. I kind of feel like maybe the two of you are, both of you are kind of like disengaging with each other a little bit, but I think that it might actually be for the best right now for the both of you to do that. You might have to face these fears. Why are you feeling so anxious right now? And what can you do to change that? Because I feel like a shift in your perception. Again, this whole reading so far, if you watch the first section on money and career, it also had to do a lot with perceptions of things. Like there is so much to be happy about right now in your life, and even regarding this connection, but there's something that's blocking you from that. Can you find the joy? What is there to be had here? What is the joy here? We have the Chariot reversed. It seems like this relationship or this connection is not moving forward right now, but there's a gift. There's a reason for that, and it's a beautiful reason if you can understand it. And we have the Six of Wands reversed and the Three of Swords. So yeah, I think the person that you're thinking about, they do care about you, but I feel like they do have memories of you, but it's almost like you're gone to them. You're lost to them. They feel probably that this is, not going anywhere and that it probably never will. And I feel like they've kind of resigned themselves to that. They might be going through some level of a grief process here, but I don't feel that they're overly upset about it. I feel like it's just like a sort of acceptance that this is probably not going to work out. And I think this person is sort of focusing on, how can I be happy and abundant? I'm not going to, so this relationship isn't working out, but that I'm not going to keep that from making me happy. I can find other things to be happy about. And I kind of feel like this would be the kind of energy that your guides would want you to be in as well. How is this relationship or connection not working out? How can that actually lead you to your own happiness? I think that you might be sort of personally offended by it, and it makes you think, with Five of Wands reversed, maybe you're thinking, this person is choosing someone else over me, and that hurts my pride. But if you think about it differently, this could be a doorway that is closing so that another one could open, one that would actually make you much happier than what you could have had with this person anyway. All right, so let's get a final bit of advice for you guys regarding this connection or just in general. What does Aries need to know about this connection? Humility. I take a deep breath and release all of my desire to be right. Without right, what's left? A soft and pliable version of me that's willing to make mistakes, hear other people's opinions, and try doing stuff a different way. In other words, I get to take a pretty sweet, all-inclusive brain vacation. Some restrictions apply depending on the current tenacity of my ego. Yeah, so it's like, I feel like you guys are letting your mind kind of take over, and it's making you feel not so great about life right now. So you really probably would do very well to practice meditation or mindfulness, anything that gets you out of your head, you could do something physically active that a lot of times gets people out of their head, or even something that's artistically creative. Sometimes when people are painting or making pottery, you can get into a flow state. So you might want to research mindfulness and meditation or flow states. Even something like rock climbing, I think, gets people into a flow state because you're so focused on accomplishing that task that your brain doesn't have the opportunity to get lost in these other obsessive, over-analyzing things, right? So you need to give your brain a rest from worrying in general. And I feel like you'll be much happier if you do that. And you'll kind of see what the real opportunities are here going forward. Wants and needs. I take stock of my relationships and I'm honest about what I want and need from the people in my life. I note the difference between the two. Wants are negotiable. Needs are not. Both may be desired and either may be acquired, but that's getting into Venn diagram territory and no one wants to draw one of those. So some of us might need to. Yeah, so there might be certain things you're wanting out of this connection, but what do you really need? You know, and is this person the one who's going to be able to fulfill those needs or not? You have to start thinking about that, but not overthinking it. You know, give your brain a rest. All right. Okay, so for those of you who are simply looking for new love and you want to see what might be out there, maybe you have an existing connection, but you're still like, it's not working out, so let me see if anything new is on the horizon. Let's see. Is there something new coming to Aries this month in love? Some new love prospect for Aries. Let's see what we've got. I'll do one more shuffle. So we have a no, but I feel like it's probably for the best right now because I feel like you're probably not ready for it anyway. So take a deep breath. Let it go. So we have the Nine of Wands reversed. We have the World reversed. So most of the cards are reversed. So that to me is the no. We do have the Seven of Wands upright. So I kind of feel like you're in a place right now where it's kind of easy for you to get triggered. Even if new love came along, it would be so triggering to you because you would feel under a microscope or you would feel judged or something. Even if someone new came along and they had the absolute best intentions, because there's some other stuff that you haven't dealt with about emotional situations or romantic situations that haven't worked out in the past. That has to be dealt with first so that you don't just keep repeating the same patterns over and over, which is like a normal thing that humans do in relationships. People get into these, it could be a new relationship, but it's going to be the same old pattern, right? You don't want that. When new love comes along, you do truly want it to be the best possible experience it could be. This beautiful, ideal experience that is represented by the World card. So I feel like the guidance here is very obvious. You know, focus on doing your healing, doing your self-love, freeing yourself from the, you know, the pain of being in a negative, self-harming mind state, in that state of negative self-talk and all of that. All right, so that's what I get for you about romance, Aries. Let's go ahead and get your spiritual message for the month. All right. I'm really just loving the Animal Totem Tarot deck for you guys this month. I think I'm just going to use this for my whole zodiac. Anyway, I'm trying to say is I'm going to get the spiritual message from one of our animal guides from this deck. What does Aries need to know? What's their spiritual message for the month? Okay, oh, we got that Five of Swords coming up again. Now, if you watched the whole reading, this was the very first card that came up in your video in the career section. So Five of Swords, let me try to find this. Okay. So this is the echidna. I guess that's how you'd pronounce that. E-C-H-I-D-N-A. All right, and it says, although I am hardly afraid of sharp, pointy things, I do find it bothersome when they show up where I least expect to encounter them. I have to admit, it does throw a girl off her game, but in this world you have to see what is really there and then change direction accordingly. Okay, so it's about getting clarity about your life path. So this is the message from the echidna. I'm just going to read the whole passage. I love this book that goes with this deck. Again, for those of you who like decks, it's called the Animal Totem Tarot. This little sticker that's covering up the word tarot. But When it comes to weird and wonderful animals that look like they were created during a bad stoner session, look no further than the largest island in the world, Australia. The echidna looks kind of like a hedgehog, but has the nose of an anteater, lays eggs like a reptile, and yet is a mammal. When it comes to not knowing what you're getting by looks alone, you can't beat the surprise factor of our adorable spiny anteater. The Five of Swords lets you know that something unexpected is about to happen, or has already happened. And guess what? It's in the last place you expected it. The real trick is to see the blessing in what is really there. Sure, it's not what you thought, but it happened this way for a reason. Don't be deceived by how things currently look, because just like our humble little echidna, something truly amazing can be hidden in the most unusual of packages. And there's a special message for different areas of life, so I'm going to read that as well. For business and career, it says, in business, there are always going to be winners and losers. Sometimes it's you who hits the home run, and sometimes it's not. As Andy Warhol proclaimed, we all get our 15 minutes of fame, but it's how you act when it is not your time to shine that really says the most about your level of integrity, and it is your integrity that will either draw people to you or push them away. So for those of you who watched the career portion, I feel like that could be a helpful message for you. Family and relationships. How important to you is it to be right? Oftentimes, being right is all the fuel that is required to head into battle with those you love. Yet rarely does it yield the result you expected it would. Now may be the time to try another way. Listen instead of speaking, and honor instead of chastising. So I don't like to admit it, but this is definitely true of me. Sometimes you're like, I'm right. And then as it says, yet rarely does this being right actually yield the result you expected it would. Health and well-being. Victory is an event, and a short-lived one at that. Do not lose your focus just because you had a small win. Lingering here will only cause problems in the long run. Instead, honor your win by keeping up the momentum and working on the next challenge. If you really want to dig deep, they've got some journal prompts here. When conflict happens in your life, is it because of you, or are you just merely attracted to it? Are you finding yourself being attracted to conflict? How do you practice the art of non-engagement? So how do you practice the art of just kind of being there, observing, experiencing, but not feeling like you have to react? I'm not an Aries myself, but I am definitely resonating with some of these messages. What do you do when things don't go as you had planned? All right, so those are some journal prompts that you might want to dig into this month. All right, Aries, thank you so much for watching. I am blessed to have you as a viewer. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.